Hi, I'm Elli Barnes, and I'm here today to help launch the new annual catalogue. Now, in the new annual catalogue, there's lots of wonderful sweets, stamp sets, bundles you can get, all sorts of things. But today I'm going to introduce you to the Pansy Petals suite, which if you open your catalogue, you will see is on page 28 and 29. The suite comes with a number of stamp sets, the number of stamps in the stamp set. There's 23 stamps in that stamp set, as you can see. A number are involved in making the flowers, as well as some sentiments and leaves. It also comes with some beautiful designer series paper, matching dies to the stamp sets, and also some little bumblebee trinkets. So let me show you what I've got here. This is the stamp set, and you'll see Stampin' Up has introduced the pictures on the cover now, so you can just stick your stamp straight onto the cover, and it comes with its matching dies. Now I've got them out ready to use. Also, this is the designer series paper, and I'm going to show you both sides because it's gorgeous. We're starting with some leaves. The dies actually do cut these leaves out, and then we've got a check on that side. And these are all in our new colours. We've got a whole group of pansies in a field, and we've got just just a lovely, looks like a little flower on the back there. These are actual pansies that can be cut out with the dies. You've got two sizes on this sheet of paper, the large ones and the small ones. It's probably a better one to see. Or there's the pink one up there. This is one of my favourite pieces. It's on a beautiful soft green background, and it's got lots and lots of flowers. Oh, I didn't show you this side. Hang on. Sorry, that side's a bit of a dot side. I forgot to show you that. I was too excited about this piece. So it's got lots of varieties of flowers on it, and it just makes a gorgeous card. And on the back is this beautiful striped green pattern, which again, I've used a bit, and I love that too. This piece has a number of flowers all over it. Love those flowers again. You could cut each one out if you wanted to use it separately. And another check design. And this one's just in some beautiful soft colours. Lots of flowers and a check design on the back. And as for the trinkets, the bumblebees, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see them, but I'll put a couple out, and hopefully you can see those. There is a bit of sun shining through my window right now, but hopefully that won't interrupt us too much. So hopefully you can see those. So before we get started, I wanted to show you how you can build your pansies from this set, and it's such a variety you can do. So I'm starting with the stamps. Now, to build your pansy here, you need 5 separate stamps. You don't have to use them all, as I'll show you in the next sheet, but you need the first 2 to build the outside of the pansy. You then can use these next 2 to build the inner part of the pansy. But some pansies have a lot of white on them, so you might leave one or the other out. And then you've got your very centre. For your smaller pansies, it's 3 stamps. It's the base, and then the highlight, and then again this centrepiece, a different one to that, smaller, but you're using the same centre here to form your flower. You can also do a bud. Again, that's actually 4 for that one, 5 for that one, 4 for that one, and 3 for this one, for the bud. We have the base, the highlight, and the stem on the bud. And the leaves are 2-step stamping. The base and then the highlight to give you the 2 leaves. So hopefully that gives you some idea how you can use the stamp set just to form your pansies. And here are some I've done, and it gives you a variety of colours that I've used to make them. So you can do your oranges, your yellows. You can see this one, I've just done 1 centrepiece. This one has 2 centerpieces. And this one has the opposite, just 1 centerpiece, but it's the outer centerpiece. Same with up there, it's an outer centerpiece or an inner centerpiece or both. And this one I've done both in the same colour. So it's a variety of things that you can do to make a variety of different flowers. Every card could look completely different. I've also shown you how you can use the dies to make pansies. You've got these lovely petal pieces here that actually are embossed as well. Now, to make your pansy, you need 6 separate dies. You need your top part of the flower, or actually your bottom part of the flower. I've got the flower upside down. The bottom part of the flower and your 2 top pieces. So you cut 2 of these. So we'll start with the bottom. We cut the base piece, we cut the highlight piece, and we add them together. Here we cut the 2 top pieces, the 2 highlight pieces, and add them together. You then glue these together and add on your 2 centre pieces to form your flower. For your bud, you've got your bottom piece, your highlight piece, and your stem. So 3 dies form your bud. And your leaves, again, it's 2, a base and a highlight piece to form the leaves. Now, using the dies only, I have made a variety of different flowers and how you can do that. So if we take it from the top, I've coloured the white paper here and just coloured the edge of it on this one so that it is a white and purple pansy. This is the reverse where I've coloured the top, the bottom, and left the top white. So again, it's a white and purple pansy. Again, another white and purple pansy, but this one I've only coloured all the edges and highlighted the very rims. This one I've done no colouring. I've done similar to the above, only I've just done it with coloured paper. And this one I've mixed it up. This one has no highlight edging on it, just 2 lots of different coloured paper. This one has coloured edging on the top, but none on the bottom. And this one has coloured edging on the bottom, but none on the top. And down the bottom here, I have mixed it up completely. I've done some colouring, some edging, some without edging, just to give a variety of different pansies. So you can see, once you put these 2 sheets together, there's an endless amount of pansies you could create through this set. Now these 3 cheat sheets or guides I will be putting on the website after the video so that you'll be able to look these up and it'll help you when you're using your sets. Now that I've introduced you to the suite, I'll show you a card I've made. This is the card we're going to make today, and the sun's going to upset it a bit. I've made 2 pansies and a bud. These pansies I've used colouring and a colouring technique, as well as a little bit of stamping in the centre, and I've used the designer series paper. So I'm going to show you how I've done this. I've done a lot of prep work because there was so much information to tell you about. So, first of all, we need our card base. I'll take my notes off. So we've got our card base. Now, for something different, I've cut it lengthways. So that is your full sheet. Cut it 10.5 centimetres down the centre and scored in half. For on top of the card, I've done white front, and I've done the same size for inside the card. And the white front is 10 centimetres by 14.3 centimetres. So it's a half a centimetre less than the card. So we're going to put one inside and one on the outside. And then on top of the card front, I'm putting on this lovely gingham check in pale papaya, and that's sitting there with a little white rim or a little white edging frame, as well as the pale papaya edging frame on the base. And on this one, I'm just going to highlight that lovely gingham check on the bottom of the inside of the card. So, and the sizes here, we're looking at 9.5 centimetres by 13.8 centimetres. So this is 1 centimetre smaller than the card. If you pop it on the card like that, it's 1 centimetre smaller all round. So we're just stepping down half a centimetre each time. And this one is 10.5 centimetres by 2.5, just to fill in the bottom of the border. So when you've glued all that together, because I'm sure you don't need to watch me glue those basic bits together, you end up with a card front looking like this. Now we're going to do the more interesting part of the card, and that's decorate it. So, first thing I do is I'm going to cut out. These are the dies that I was telling you about, and you can see they'll actually emboss as well as cut. So what we're going to do is cut these two. We'll do these 3 once and this one twice. And when I put that through the machine, actually we've got to do it for too far more than that, so sorry, wrong. We need to cut one set of these. So let's go through this again. We need one set of the bud. We need 2 of these for the flowers, and we need 4 of these for the petals, the top petals. Okay? Now, to speed things up, I've already got one flower prepared, but I'm going to show you how to prepare it and how to prepare the bud. So I've got one flower done. So this is what you have for your flower, and this is for your bud. So you'd actually have 2 sets of these, but because I've got that flower there, we've got only one set. Now what I'm going to do to give it some colour is I'm taking our new colour, Fresh Freesia, which is one of my favourites. I love these new colours. And I'm going to start with the base of the flower. And all I'm using is the blender brush, and I'm just going to put some light colour around the edge. So I just rub a little bit on all the way around the edge. Look, it's a very personal taste, and as I said, there's a variety of things you can do. But this is the flower I've chosen today. So I've got a little bit of colour there, just around the edge. Now these ones, I need a lot of colour. So this is where you get to just colour it all in. Because I'm trying to give the impression that this is going to be, well, if I turn them around that way, you can see how it's building up. And this one would fit under there. And this one will get a lot of colour also. So by colouring it too, you can see the lines are standing out, the embossed lines that the dye has made. And gives the flower some life. And it really doesn't matter how much you put on or how little, it's up to your personal choice. So that's the start of the flower. On this little one, the bud, if we look, I've put a lot of colour onto the top part and only a little bit on the bottom. So with the bottom, I just did a little gentle kiss of colour. And the top, I put lots of colour on. So we'll be able to place that over and it'll give that look of the bud. And that's all we're going to do with the blenders. We're going to keep the stamp set though, because this centrepiece here is stamped with, and you can see I've been using it on some brightly coloured pinks and things, with this piece here, which is, this will probably show it better, which is this piece, this stamp here. This is the little one, this is the larger one. So I'm only stamping the centre, not the outer part. And I just want to give some colour around there. Just around where the centre bit is. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Mine's a little bit off centre. And that's all the colouring we're doing with the flowers. Then we'll take our glue, and this is how I put the flower together. A drop there, generous drop. Doesn't have to be that generous. Oh, I've left out a step. Sorry. I've forgotten to show you how to edge it. Because as you can see, the flowers here are edged right round. So I've just taken my marker and I've just run it round the very edges. Like so. I hope you can see how I'm doing this. A little bit of colour. Just helps the flower stand out a bit more, I find. It gives a bit more definition. Okay, and to give you an idea, I'll do this one first, a bit sticky. Now that I've got it covered in glue. But you can see, it just makes those petals stand out a bit more. If you can see the difference between the one I've done, just put it there for a second, and the one I haven't, you can see that that stands a little brighter. There goes the lid to the floor. Not a good thing to do. And there we have it. Now I'm going to pop these back together. Try not to get onto that piece of glue there. So that we have those two now stuck together as the top part of the flower. And then the bottom part, I just put a little bit of glue on both of those two spots and attach it on. Now you can sort of go in as far as you want or as little as you want. I might have put that petal over a bit much. That's it. Oh, I think that looks a little bit better. They don't stick to the base. Sometimes if you're having trouble, which we're doing right now, I've moved them around a bit. If you're having trouble with it sticking underneath, you can use one of these little rubber mats to build your flower on, and that will won't stick to the mat. That petal's certainly not in the right spot. That's looking a bit better. I think it's where it was at the beginning. Now, to cut the centrepiece out, this lovely little orange, oh, we'll glue these while we're at it, and then we'll cut the centrepiece out. Again, I just put a little glue on the back of this one. It's a lot of glue. We'll do it on the mat. And we'll just pop it on like so. And then we'll cut the centerpieces out. Stamping Up as anticipated, you'll make more than one flower here. They have 3 centerpieces that you cut out together. And they come out like so. Come here. Stuck to my fingers. There they are there. So that's just a little die. Cut the 3 pieces out. You can see there's a little point on your centerpiece. It's just a very subtle point. And there is also a bit of a curve in here on the die. You'll see here. So it's telling you to put, you can't see it because I've coloured the paper or stamped on it, but it's telling you to put it with the point pointing towards the petals. Oh, if I can get this in the spot to give you an idea what I mean. There. So it points down like that towards the petals. So now I'll try and do one here on the picture. That's a better size dot. Got a new glue, Tombow glue, new multi-purpose glue, and the glue's pouring out. So we'll just straighten that a bit. So then our petals look the same. So I'll pop that over there. Don't need that one. Now for the stem of this one, you see the glue hasn't stuck onto it because it's on this sheet of paper. We'll get that out of the road. We're going to cut out the leaves and the stem. The base of the leaves, again, the die is has embossing on it, so you're going to cut out 3 leaves of that size. And that's with the soft succulent, again, one of the new in colours, which I don't know which is my favourite. I thought this was. Now I'm thinking it's fresh freesia. I just love them. So we're cutting out 3 of these. And then on this one, on the Evening Evergreen, we're going to cut out one of the stems, like so, for there, and 3 of the highlights. Now, as before, I've already got 2 prepared, but this one, all I'm going to do is put a little bit of glue, if my glue cooperates. Now it won't come out at all. Yes, if I squeeze it, comes too much. If I don't squeeze it, it doesn't come out at all. Right, we're going to get that stuck there. Just mop up some of that glue with my finger. I haven't got a cloth to reach right now. The glue does dry clear. So I'm going to pick that up. I should still be on that mat because that's a bit gluey. This one's easier. Just a little bit of glue on some of the edges, and I just use the bottle to spread it around a bit, and you just glue that over the top. And so that just matches the edging of the flower and sits like that. So once we've got all that ready, we then need to prepare the sentiments. Now on this card I've got happy birthday, and inside I've got wishing you a little extra happiness just because you're you. So they're both in the stamp set. So what we'll do is take our piece of paper, and I'm going to use Coral Calypso Coral I should say, and that's the same colour that I've used here in the centre. Just gently give it a stamp. And I've cut this one out for the card using the oval punch, which is new in the catalogue this year. It was in the mini catalogue and it's staying in the annual catalogue, and it's a great punch. But I'm only going to use the bottom one, and I'm too high. I need to bring it down a bit. Right. Because I want to get that happy birthday nicely in the centre. That's cut out an extra piece for me, but that's okay. I'll put that aside for another day when I want a piece to put a sentiment on. And that's ready to go. Inside the card, while I've got the stamp set out, I'm going to put that stamp aside, and I'm taking this one, wishing you a little extra happiness just because you're you. And again, in the Calypso Coral, just stamp that in the centre there, and it's done. So I'll just leave that. Oh, well, no, I need that now. Just leave that there while I put the rest together, but I need to put the rest on the front. So I've already put on the back of this flower some dimensionals, so I'll just pop a couple on this flower, on this pansy. I tend to use too many of these, but I like to keep it nice and sitting up. So I put 5 on the back of this flower. And I want this flower to sit up. And if you look, it's, or the petal, it's overlapping on the sentiment. So I'm going to put my dimensional back a bit further so it can overlap. And I've got plenty of room to overlap it. And the sentiment is also raised, so I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on the back of my sentiment. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my eye in on where everything's going to go. So I've got my sentiment, 1 petal and 1 pansy. The other pansy's going to go, just link in across it a bit. That's going to roughly go there. And I've got a leaf here, here, and one in the middle here. Now my reasoning for that is now I can then put my leaves on, and I know exactly where they're going because they are the bottom layer. So a bit of glue on the back of that. And pop him under there. I've actually used the bigger ones for this card and smaller ones for the other card, but it really doesn't matter. This one is going under there, and then this one needs to, this is a bit of a trickier one, you've got to stay there. Not ready for you to move yet. Again, bit glue on that one and slide him in. Now, I put the pansies on. Get these all off. And put it on a bit of an angle. Get all those things off my finger. This pansy. And yes, I have left my glue open, but you'll see why in a minute. And I'm going to pop him there. Now, I need to ascertain where that's going to go. That's actually been, I was going to put a bit of glue under that, but one of the dimensionals has stuck that down, so we're going to let that sit where it is. Can be quite handy. And I'm going to take these two off and put it under like so. So there's my finished card. Only difference is slightly different in colour and a little bit different shaped leaves. Now, that's card here. I've created several versions of it. I've got a pink one, a pink and purple. I should say it's polished pink and fresh freesia. I have a pale papaya and soft succulent. And this one I've mixed right up and done two different coloured flowers, a fresh freesia and a polished pink. And I've put it on that beautiful piece of paper that I love. So all the same style of card, just different colours. I also have shown you here that if you don't want to stamp the flowers and you want to make a really quick card, this is again using the designer series paper, and all I've done is cut out the leaves and the flowers and stamped happy birthday. This one, I've stamped the flowers and cut them out. I haven't done anything else other than use these stamps in here for the flowers, the leaves, stems, and then I've cut them out using the dies. And again, I have a backing of the beautiful designer series paper. This card here is again rather a simple version. I've embossed the background. I've given it a frame of evening evergreen, matching the stems. The flower is in, or the pansy's in fresh freesia, and so is the backing paper. And not only have I made this a birthday card, this is the same card I gave my mother for Mother's Day, with a Happy Mother's Day on it instead. This card, just using a little bit of paper to highlight it, and again a couple of flowers. And I've brought in here some of the gorgeous flower trinkets that are in the new catalogue. Love them, and it works so well with this piece of paper, designer series paper. This one's highlighting the paper. I've again just used the flower bud on the side with some of the beautiful ribbon that's coming out in the designer series colours. And I've used, again, the polished pink. And instead of using the large sentiment on the inside of the card, I've used both it and the smaller sentiment on the outside of the card. So it says, the little things you do make such a big difference. Thank you. And this card is, again, showing the designer series paper. I've used pink payola. No, I haven't. I've used polished pink as the flowers. I've used two different designer series paper. I've used the other half of the stamp the punch for the sentiment, and place some of the flowers on it. And again, the ribbon. And this final set is actually a gift bag and card. So again, that lovely paper that I like. I've actually popped the bees on this one. And again, some of the little flowers. Both have the ribbon. I've used the Evening Evergreen and the Soft Succulent. And again, lots of the designer series paper. So I hope you've enjoyed my presentation. All the cards I've made, along with all the sheets that I showed earlier on how to make the pansies, will be on the website after the video. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next person. Bye.